Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors be unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations be to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the stern of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It's the Aki Mahalalia coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. War drums are beating, World War III update. Okay, America, Babylon the Great, aka the U.S. of A. is being exposed as leading, which we already known that. We've known that America has backed up terrorists for years. You know, Obama came out and admitted in his presidency that they were actually funding different terrorist groups to go against those different forces in the U.S. In the Middle East, like ISIS, for example. That was nothing more but terrorist-led organizations that were paid off by America, basically playing double agent. Okay, you can say the CIA was basically ISIS, you know, because I noticed when America went over there, the terrorist threat increased, and the number of strongholds of those particular regions increased among these so-called ISIS members. But when Russia came out there, they pretty much neutralized that threat in one day, and it was exposed that they were backing these particular rebels to bring about some type of civil war over this particular oil and the different commodities and goods and resources of these different nations. So what they do, they play puppet. You know, they'll find somebody to go in there and destabilize it so they can come in there and clean up and collect the spoils of the land. And that's been a known tactic. It has been a known formula that they've been known to use out in the West for the longest. But the world knows it. All right. So it says Iran boosts military cooperation with Iraq, which that's prophecy. That's almost a fulfillment of 2nd Esdras 15 and like 30 when it goes into how the Arabians of the dragons of Arabia and the Carmanians, which the Carmanians are the Iranians or the Persians, all right, which is known as some brothers say Alam, we call them Elam. And then you got the Iraqis, which are Ishmaelites, all right, which is the tents of Ishmael, which was another so-called man of color in the Bible, which was the son of Abraham. All right. So anyway, going into this article, it says Iran boosts military cooperation with Iraq as it warns of U.S.-backed terrorists being redeployed to the region. Okay. Reason why they know that is because they had intel during the time of ISIS that they were being set up by America. All right. And this is leading to war because if you're funding different rebel groups to go and fight an illegal battle on sovereign land, you're basically asking for a war. Okay, that's what they call war drums, or that's another way of that's a declaration of war. All right, so it says senior Iranian military officials have held an agreement to increase defense cooperation with Iraq, claiming that the two nations must guard against extremists allegedly being sent into the region by Washington. So you've been exposed, E. Everybody's exposing you, man. Okay, you can't hide under your wing no more. Your double horns are sticking out more than ever. You know, you're not just a big bad white man anymore. Okay, the world knows you as the great Satan. Like in Iran, they called him the great Satan. All right, which Satan means adversary. And it says here, Tehran and Baghdad have drafted a plan that calls for joint military drills and cooperation between their defense industries, which they're distant relatives anyway. It says, as well as the strengthening their border security. It says the document will be finalized and formally signed in the near future, according to the Iranian state media. It says Iraqi Defense Minister Juma and Anad Saddam, accompanied by senior Iraqi commanders, traveled to Tehran to iron out the deal. All right, so these nations are forming a pact. Like according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, all these nations are going to link together to fight against the great whore, with America's allies even turning against them in the latter half. Okay. It says here Iran, and this is just a different article, but it's kind of similar. It says Iran blacklists 3 U.S. diplomats over terrorist acts one day after Washington imposed sanctions on Tehran. Okay, so, hey, that shows you once again, war drums are definitely beating. But it says the agreement was applauded by Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces of Major General Mohammad Hosseini Bagheri, the country's most senior military official, who has said that it will lead to greater stability and security in both nations. But claiming that Iraq has faced several conspiracies in recent years, the Iranian general accused the United States of seeking to redeploy terrorists into the region, making closer cooperation between the two neighbors a necessity. So they're forming a pact, okay? And it's through the spirit of Yahweh Shai Shai, because what you're seeing now is the war drums or World War III brewing up. This is why the Most High have certain power moves that's being formulated, so these other nations can already have an alliance, because by the time World War III kicks off, everybody's going to already have their chosen side. Russia's already going to be in place to be a guardian to Iran, Turkey, Iraq, China, Libya, these other nations. Same thing with America. They're already going to be in position to guard their allies, but unfortunate for America, their allies are going to turn against it, according to biblical prophecy. All right, so this is the book of Zephaniah 3:8. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, says Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey." He says, "I, the Most High." It says, "For my determination is to gather the nations." And this is what you're saying. When you gather somebody, you're bringing them together. You're bringing them under one goat, so to speak, under one umbrella together. All right, and it says here, read it again, "Making closer cooperation between two neighbors a necessity." See? So they're going to put their differences aside, and they're going to go against this whore and shoot missiles on her. Okay? But it says here, "That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour out them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth should be devoured the fire of my jealousy." Okay? So, we're here, bro. We're here. World War III. Screaming. And I got another precept here. Because Esau's been exposed, man. He can't hide no more, man. Play fucking whack-a-mole all you want, bro. You got hit over the head with the mallet already, bro. Give it up. But anyway, this is the book of Obadiah 1:6. It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" People owning you, man. The Most High got you in the crosshairs. You're basically like a deer in the headlights, man. You like a rat that got caught in that mouse trap, man. That tried to get the cheese at night, and then all of a sudden you heard that snap. You that rat that's caught in that trap with that cheese in his mouth. That's you. You caught, bro. Everybody knows you the devil. Most High got your ass right in them crosshairs, man. And you make one move, the Most High gonna open up on you. You caught. That's like being caught in the middle of a sniper's scope. If a sniper's a marksman, and he's hitting 98.9% of the targets, you don't want to be in that man's field of vision. He's gonna knock your head off. And that's what the Most High got you. Got you, man. So you might as well just put your hands up, E. You done. But it says, "And all the men of thy confederacy have brought even thee to the border." For one thing, you got the Saudi Arabians, which you was an ally with. You got those. At first, you was dealing with Turkey. Turkey don't want to deal with you no more, and they're part of NATO. A prominent ally of yours, which you tried to set up and overthrow them through a coup. They against you now. All right, you got the United Nations, or the UN. That's basically saying, man, these people putting sanctions on our business partners, so that's stopping us from getting our money. How much more, man? You devils in big trouble. But it says here, "Who are at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid the wound under thee. There's no understanding," right? Because now you got to pay your allies, man. You got to pay your people. You got to pay people to stay partners with you, because if not, they just going to turn on you. Because the dollar ain't worth nothing. All right, your money is being backed by silver and gold, and the other nations are trying to succeed from that. And this is why you have the BRICS nations. All right, because they don't want to deal. They know that an inevitable dollar collapse is on the horizon. They know these things. So therefore, if they stay under your rule of this iron rule of dealing with this depleted currency, they know that they're going to be subservient to you, man. And these nations are trying to break loose from you. All right, they're trying to do it without all the violence and bloodshed, but the Most High going to turn it up a notch, But anyway, going back into the article, it says here, Ali, Shamakhani, the secretary of Iran's national, it says, of Iran's, hold on one second. Salakia, I got distracted. But anyway, it says here, Ali Shamakhani, the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, it says here, expressed similar support for bolstering cooperation with Iraq. It says, but according to the Iranian media reports, Shamakhani claimed that the United States aims to create a conflict in the region. That's right. Order out of chaos, man. They want to do that so they can go down there and be justified on fucking y'all land up, man, and stealing y'all resources. It says here, said Iran and Iraq must remain diligent against Washington's sinister plot. It says he said that the fight against the Islamic State, or formerly ISIS, showed that any security crisis could be overcome through joint cooperation. All right, but it says here the United States has repeatedly accused Iran of being a leading state sponsor of terrorism, but Tehran insists that Washington is actually the primary source of violent extremism. Okay, you exposed. We just read it. It says earlier this week, the New York Times published a story claiming that the Al-Qaeda second in command was killed in Iran in August by Israeli assassins. But Iran's foreign ministry dismissed the story, describing it as false information. You caught, man. Leaked to the media in order to avoid responsibility for criminal activities of this group and other terrorist groups in the region. So they try to cover it up as usual. But both Iran and Iraq accused Washington of destabilizing the region after Iranian Quad Force members General Qasem Soleimani, which that started a war, and they already on high alert about that. It says it was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad in January, which kicked off the year of prophecy. When that happened, everything just fell in line. It says here, the strike also killed members of the Iraqi militia, triggering accusations that Washington had betrayed its ally in the fight against the Islamic State. But Iraq's, what the hell? Oh, okay. It says Iraq's parliament passed a non-binding resolution to expel all American forces from the country, while Iran launched missile strikes against several military installations in Iraq and U.S. hosted troops, man. So, World War III, baby. It's the taunting proverb, man. All right. So this is the book of Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says here, yea, all because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, need to keep it at home. You in everybody's lands stirring up strife and contention. That's why they want you out of there. Nobody wants you in a land. You know, and then you got the audacity to tell the Native Americans to get out, or Negroes go back to Africa, when this ain't your damn land either. You know, this land actually belonged to the Native Americans, which are of the tribe of Israel, Reuben and Gad, to be exact. It says this Negro got more right to this land than you do, because the Most High, he sent them over here to dwell where mankind didn't dwell. So you really the vagabond, man. You should be the one that's out and getting chased out of the land, man. You know? But it says, need to keep it at home, who enlarged his desire as hell and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered into him all nations and heaping into him all people. That's the whole purpose. Destabilizing nations to take resources. You're a demon, man. And now the Most High is going to destroy you for it. It says, should not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. And this is the reason why you're causing tension in the Middle East. That's not your land over there. Leave the people alone. But we know it's prophecy. And it's good prophecy that's going to lead to World War III. You know, the Lord is just stirring up the hornet's nest to get everything in its proper place. So when the pot boils over, everything will be set up already. The Lord is he's the baddest chess player in the world, man. Cold. And it says, and at that time that laded himself with thick clay, which is that. It says, should they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be booties unto them? That's right, these are the nations. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, and because of men's blood and for violence in the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. All right? And it says, woe to him that covered the evil covenants to his house. You stealing shit. He's trying to steal lands, and then you trying to bring about a democracy. It says that he may set out his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. But you ain't going to be delivered from Yahweh Shai's wrath, man. You know? Okay. And it says, for the stone should cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. That's right, man. Yahweh Shai come back with them chariots. But woe to him that builded a town with blood, and established a city by iniquity. That's you, E. Sleazy E, man. That's you. You caught, man. All right. I'm going to have one more precept, and then I'll be done with it. Point is being made. But anyway, this is the book of 2nd Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at verses 28. It says, behold, a horrible vision. The appearance thereof from the east. Shows you what his war is going to kick off from. This is why he's over there in the Middle East. It says here, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, okay, that's them Arabs, all right, them who you call Iraqis, you know, them, I believe the Shiite and the Sunni. I think the Sunni may be the Iranians, and the Shiite may be the Iraqis. Well, I might have it backwards. But either way it go, hey, they're coming together, and this prophecy proves it. It says the dragons of Arabia should come out with many chariots, that's their military vehicles. You know, that like the scriptures say, Ishmael is a wild man. It says, and a multitude of them should be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, all right, it says the Carmanians in wrath should go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power should they come and join battle with them. We're reading about it. All right, let's read the title again. It says here, Iran boosts military cooperation with Iraq as it warns of U.S.-backed terrorists being redeployed to the region. We're reading the prophecy of them coming together. Read it again. Also, the Carmanians, raging in wrath, should go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power should they come and join battle with them, and should waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right, because when they shoot them rockets, the missiles over here, they're going to have a hand in wasting this place right along with America's allies. Okay, it says here, then should the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, right? Because the dragon is a fierce creature. And it says, and if they should turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay, so hey man, you Edomites, you devils, you're done. America's finished, and the Lord is going to bring an end to this tyranny. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh by Shemi Hawashai. And with that, shalom and a ball.